Well. Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, this is starting to go live. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We're live. We're live. We're live. Yes, we're live. We're live. And we're live. I don't know why this is tripping, but we're going to let it keep tripping. We're here. It's Monday morning, September the 8th. 9/8/25. We're here to make it happen, here to make it do what it do, here to see what it wants to do this morning. We're going to go ahead and get the show on the road, or my husband would say, get the road on the show. He likes to do that, to turn stuff backwards. Good morning, Tanya. Hey, girlfriend. How we doing this morning? How we doing? We had a great show, quote unquote, last night, where I went over what's coming up this week, shared a few stocks to look at. Did y'all know that Microsoft is back at $4.99? Wow. Friday it dipped to like $4.90. I mean, it was and then now it's back at $4.99, which is fine because I had a put credit spread that was looking kind of Janae was like, are you gonna close your Microsoft? I was like, well, not yet. I'm gonna give it a minute. But it's back at, it was at $4.99 this morning. So we gonna let it be. And then hopefully it's gonna stay where it need to be, and we can just go ahead and close it out with profits. Yes. Good morning, Janae. Good morning, Ward. We're gonna be able to close it out with profits, hopefully. All right, let's move on with where we're at this morning. Looks like the VIX is at 1563. I know we got this whole conversation about the VIX being in the 15s. It doesn't always work very well. It doesn't do what it need to do for us. Well, come on, machine. For us sellers, we want a little bit more volatility, because a little bit more volatility gives us a little bit better premiums. We don't have to get as close when we've got a little more volatility. Hey, Nori. So we do enjoy that. So, but we make it work with whatever we have. Okay, we make it work with whatever we have. The VIX is at 1561 right now. It's in the 15s. We've gotten used. It's interesting how we've gotten used to the higher volatility environment. 18, 19, 20. We've gotten more used to that. So when it comes down to 15s, we're like, oh no, good morning, Wink. But when it used to be in the 12s and the 13s, and 15 felt high, used to be a time when it was low like that. At 15 felt like it was high, and we were like, no, the sky is falling. And when it went to 18, 20, we just knew it was going to be monstrous. But then we got 17, 18 is kind of where we kind of like our sweet spot. We like it there now. But anyway, it's at 1560. That's where it is right now. So that's what we have to deal with. We have to deal with what we have. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Inflation reports deliver a reality check ahead of the Fed. Oh, yeah. Yes. After a week WEAK job report, focus is turning to the other side of the Fed's mandate. So yeah. Look at here, another big revision to the jobs data. Oh, we want to go fix the numbers now. Before, y'all wanted us to take those numbers at face value. Now you're saying, oh, they're super low. Let's go revise them. Now you want to revise the numbers. No, we don't want you to revise them. Leave them just like they are. Yes. Leave them just like they are. Besson says that U.S. is going to have to refund half the tariffs if Trump loses the appeal. We'll see what happens with there. U.S. raid on Hyundai plant leaves Korean companies reeling. A raid on it? How would we raid them for? What they do that they need a raid? Oh my. Did they go raid the plant for immigrants or something? What are we doing? What are you doing? Fed likely to cut rates by 50 basis points next week, which would probably be, I think the 25 points is already, factored in, already built in, but 50 points is more than we would be looking for. We'll see. Y'all know how stuff, they tell us part of the information, and then we have to just suck it up and deal with it. U.S. stock futures rise as hopes for a jumbo rate cut emerge. People really want a big rate cut. We'll see. EchoStar shares rocket up on $17 billion deal with Musk's SpaceX. Too many S's right there together, but we worked it out. Okay, so that's what's being said over on Yahoo Finance. Let's move over to CNBC. Dow futures green, S&P futures green, NASDAQ futures green, oil is green, U.S. 10-year bonds, excuse me, are red. Stock making the biggest moves this morning. EchoStar, which we just mentioned, Robinhood and AppLovin are both got a little pump because, well, both pumping a bit because they got added to the S&P, Alibaba and more. I did hear something last night after our call that generally what happens after something's added to the S&P 500, there is a bit of a pump. It pumps up and then people sell off, and so it fades it fades back down, and then closer to the actual date, like for the case I think we talked about, these are going to be on September 22nd, closer to the actual date, they ramp back up again. In the case of Robinhood, probably won't be as much of a fading because Robinhood really is in good position. I don't know enough about AppLovin to see how that would go, but Robinhood, from what I was hearing last night, Robinhood is probably going to be able to maintain and probably hold steady a little bit better, maybe a little bit better than AppLovin. I know we were talking about it in my community about whether to do cash secure puts or buy the shares or kind of thing. So those are two choices still, but we may consider even just doing credit spreads and seeing how, give it a day or so and see how it goes. Unless you want to buy the shares. If you want to own the shares, then you don't mind. If you're trying to be a long-term owner, then you don't mind a little bit of the up and down, because that when you're an owner, that's what you have to go through, those waves. But yeah, either way, really, cash secure puts, buy the shares, credit spreads, you can do all those. Stock futures tick higher as we wait for key inflation data. Okay, what are we doing? NVIDIA breakdown, jobs reports fail to slow down this bull market by much. Something is in my throat. There we go. Treasury Secretary Bessent warns of massive refunds if the Supreme Court talked about that. Private equity giants raid Wall Street as fundraising talent wars heat up. Okay. We talked about our futures. Let's see what happened over in Europe. Europe's all green over there. European markets open higher as focus turns on French confidence vote. Asia's mostly green except for the ASX 200. Crypto this morning is all green. Bitcoin's at 112,000, Ethereum 4317, Solana 214, Dogecoin 0.2358, and XRP 2.96. Okay, let's look at our meetings. Today, we only have the consumer credit month over month, which is a yellow folder. It's at 3:00 today. Unless somebody else decides they're ready to step up to the microphone. If somebody else decides to do that, then, that'll cause what it causes. But again, what do? We trade what we see, baby. Trade what you see. Trade what you see, baby. Trade what you see. Yeah, you trade what you see. All right. That investing.com is taking a minute to populate, and so is Instagram with the earnings. There's only a few things that were up for earnings this morning anyhow. There's the chart, but let's go to Adam first before we go to the chart. Go see what Adam's talking about first. Investing.com did have a couple. I think it had like the 3-month bill auction and the 6-month bill auction were on there. But we'll come back to that. Okay. Adam says perfect Sunday follow through. I put SPX. It was in ES. I probably should leave that ES sometimes because it really is relevant sometimes. Perfect Sunday follow through in ES after the Friday 9 a.m. flush. I posted 11 a.m. 64.52. Failed breakdown was the trigger up. Targets were 64.79, which was hit, 64.85, which was hit, 64.96, which was hit exactly on Sunday, 65.07, not yet. Maybe the next one up. We're still in the 64s at this point. Ride your runner, 64.85. Watch your trap, 64.71. Those are both supports. 64.85 and 71 are supports. This keeps 65.07 alive. We dip if below 64.71, that should be I moved that over too far. There's a less than symbol. There's a less than symbol before that. Yep. I put that too close. If you're below 64.71 to 64.52, dip below 64.71 to 64.52. Let me copy this. I want to make sure that it goes to the right people at the right time. Make sure that we got the right information. Okay. And I don't want to forget. So I'm going to put that there. But it should be dipped. If we get less than 64.71, it'll go down to 64.52. Okay. The gap between ES and SPX is now 9 points. Very small gap between those two now. If you're trading XSP, the range is 645 to 651. That's the range now between SPX and XSP. Okay. This information is always provided to my members. Even on the days that I'm not live on YouTube, they still get this information. And of course, Adam tweets during the week, during the day. He is a ES trader. He trades ES futures. We trade SPX, and we, move those numbers to make them work for us. Morning, my day. We use those numbers. We change them out to make them work for us, what we need on SPX. But we do all that stuff in the membership where we trade SPX each day, every day, all day, pretty much. And then at the end of the day, we pull at the beginning of the day, we pull in our profits. At the end of the day, we hope we get to keep them. We get to keep our profits is what the plan is that we keep our profits. And we've been doing very well. We've been doing very well. Very, very well. Yes, we have been doing very well. Let me go back. I'm going to the chart now. Oh, I got to take this off in order to go to the chart. Let's go look at some charts this here, Merton. SPX 500 is currently at 64.93, as you can see. There we go. 64.93. Had a big old drop at 9 o'clock last night. Why is this? Yeah, this is the right time. You know what? I'm glad this fixed itself. No, is this? No, that's not 9 o'clock last night. That was, where are we? Okay, it's the 8th. It's about 9 in the morning. This time used to be off, and I used to have to try to figure out the times. But now, of course, once you pay for extra data and pay for stuff, everything seems to get all in order. Things seem to get in order once you pay for some data. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I hope those of you who are looking are checking out those failed twos, can see some fair value gaps. Can y'all see some stuff now that we've been looking at it, and then see how how price goes right back to them. Right? This is a fair value gap. Price went right back through it and kept going where it was going. That's what that was. We got some failed twos. Here's a failed two here. It failed and then went on about its way. Little bitty things that we've been checking out. We've been adding to our knowledge base inside of our membership. Every little bit we add, every new tool we add to our tool bag helps us to become better traders. And the way we do in the membership, we do trade SPX every day, and XSP, we trade those every day. But every Sunday, I take the time and we do a charting and training session. So we do, we actually didn't do much charting last night. I thought about it after we got off the call. We really didn't do much charting. We did training. We talked about several different topics: failed breakdowns and opening range breakouts and whether to do cash secure puts or shares. We talked about 4 or 5 topics last night on our training call. We do those every week. And then we trade during the week, but we use that training information in the charts to help us when we're actually trading during the week. We use that to help us trade. Okay, so S&P 500, this is where we are. As far as where we're going, I don't know if does S&P 500 have dailies? I need to take us to just SPX, but I know when I do that, it's going to bring a whole bunch of lines to the chart. Lots of lines, but y'all can see through the lines now because y'all don't got used to it. So this was Friday. Yep, this is a daily chart. This was Friday. Friday was an outside day, basically overshadowed the top and the bottom of the previous day. And now we see what happens next from here. Do we continue upwards, continue downwards? You wait, and you see closed on Friday at 64.81, currently at 64.93 or 91. I think I said that's where the price currently is right now. So there may be a little bit of a gap up open in the markets. SPY also closed on a 3 on the daily, basically took out the top and the bottom of the previous day. But let's see what the pre-market's looking like this morning. Pre-market up a little bit from the close. Closed on Friday around 647.23 and it's at 648.50. So a little bit more than $1 up from where it closed on Friday. Maybe gap up there, bumping right up into a gap that is marked. It's bumping right into it. Boom, boom, boom. I don't know what I marked the gap for, but it's gray, so it's probably a regular gap because those are the ones that I marked, the gray ones. Fair value gaps are a different color. So that's SPY. Going to probably have a gap up this morning. We're about 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes away from the open. Looks like price is in a gap on triple Q. I'd have to go to another chart to see what made me put that there, but closed on Friday at 576.07, currently at 577.96. So a gap up open, had a big old pop. Ooh, pop and drop at the open this morning. I'm wondering, hey Julie, wondering if all this stuff from Robinhood and App Loving is causing some movement. It's causing a little bit of movement in the pre-market. Okay. Yeah, looks like that gap. Let me go to the data. Now I keep seeing these grays here. I don't know if that's a gap that I put or not. That don't look like something I put. But we're not going to figure that out on this here call live. No, we're not. Okay, so IWM closed on Friday at 237.74 and it's currently at 238.50. So about $1 up from where it closed, a little bit less than $1 up, about 75 cents up from where it closed on Friday. The high, or the at this point all-time high for IWM would be 239.67, 239.67. I don't think there's a higher back there. Okay. Maybe it's trying to go back and test again. Let's go see if you can do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Yep. Anybody got something they're looking at in particular this morning? What y'all looking at for trading today? Anybody got something on their hit list? Look at Microsoft 497. Yep. Go on and do what you're going to do so I can exit my call credits, my put credit spread with profits. Fine with me. Hey, James. Fine with me. This is Microsoft. We had looked at that. Microsoft is, let's go look at Robinhood. See what it's doing over it had a big pop in the post market after it got added to, after the announcement that it was added to the S&P 500, and now it's up a little bit higher, currently at 109.46. It went up as high as 110.90. So it could, I guess, go there. The moving averages are all flared out, getting excited. Sometime when you get a pop like this, you need to watch, see what it does on the open. See if it's a gap and go, or a gap and fade. Basically, will it fade back into the gap, where people who've had Robinhood see this, get this, huge pop and decide to sell, and then the price fades back some. I'd give it a few minutes. I wouldn't rush in to either Robinhood or AppLovin. I wouldn't rush in at 9:30. I definitely would give it a few minutes and see what happens once the market gets open. AppLovin is at $537. I didn't even know nothing about this stock. It's interesting how you'll hear some stocks mentioned and talked about all the time. You always hear them mentioned. Then sometimes you don't hear something. Some stocks don't get mentioned at all. Then it comes to the front of the radar, and then everybody's talking about it all over again. Almost like that Oscar, same thing is happening. Oscar's getting talked about a lot these days, and it's been on a nice little rise. Okay, that fly is irritating. Oscar's been moving. Start was way down here at what, 50? I say way down, $15, and it's now at 19. I'm sure it was even lower than that at some point. But that's Oscar's still moving. I think Oscar's a health thing, like a telehealth kind of company, isn't it? Kind of a industry upsetter, almost like SoFi, upsetting an industry. Of course, we'll face headwinds because they always do. Initially, people don't like interrupters, and then people go, oh, that's a good way to do, and then they jump on the bandwagons. This is SoFi. It's here. SoFi was down as 20. What's this stock down here? 24.37, and now it's at 25.70, coming up to its high. Well, it's not its all-time high. It's got a little bit higher back here in the 26s. But there's a few little things that are few little interesting pieces. Of course, we look at SPX and its surrounding citizens. That's what we do each day, right? I can't get I couldn't get what's the name to open up. So we're going to move on from there. Oh, I wanted to show the list. I got all sidetracked and didn't show our trades list for the week. We got Apple, Amazon, and Google, Microsoft, some usual suspects. Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft are all on the list. And Next Era Energy is on both sides, is on the put credit spread and the call credit spread side, because it's showing a neutral trend. TLT, same thing, and so is Walmart. All of those are showing neutral trend. I think I mentioned something about Microsoft being at a neutral trend, but then Microsoft has popped since we looked at it. It has, not that it's still not neutral. I'm just, because I think I had suggested Microsoft had been, was it Microsoft we were talking about? Yep, because I see it on my chart now. I know I'm looking at something y'all can't see yet, and that's okay. Microsoft, I had 505 as a call credit spread, but it's almost at 500, so that may not be the best move. I think we talked about it. Did we talk about it Friday, or did we talk about it yesterday on the call? Maybe yesterday's call. Just stick with this right here. Go with the put credit spread list, because Microsoft is currently at 497. Okay. But this is the list of ones. Again, y'all know that I let Peakbot do my automated trading of mine, and I have Amazon, Microsoft, SPY, Triple Q, IWM. I think Triple Q is not open at this point, but that's what's on mine. Just the simple basics at this point, putting my resources and my mental resources and my physical resources towards my SPX stuff. Okay, so this is our list for the week. If you got some things you'd like, check that out. Otherwise, check out peakbot.com/E2T if you want to have it automated. You pay one price and you can automate with the SPX if you want. You can automate the trend spread. You can automate the wheel strategy. They got several different bots that you could be using, and your capital that's just sitting around could be getting put to use in an automated fashion. All right. SP, you can know, let me put it on here. Peakbot, PAKBOT.com/E2T. Okay, you can go and have yours automated as well. I think we have covered what we were supposed to be covering. Oh, credit spreads masterclass. We basically do credit spreads all the time. E2T University open. We start in September 22nd. You still have the option to pay half now and half in a month if you'd like to do that. Early bird pricing is not there anymore, but we get ready to start up in about 2 weeks. All righty. E2T declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses and my account is growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen and amen. Doing our daily declarations as it pertains to our trading and our resources and our mind, because a big piece of trading is mental. Probably the biggest. I think the biggest piece of trading, I'm gonna start saying that different. The biggest piece of trading is the mental. You can have the strategy down pat. And as soon as the prices start moving around, if you don't have a control over your psychology and your mental and all that's going along with this whole trading thing, you'll let your mind shake you right out of your trades. Shake you right out of your trades. Yes, you will. You sure will. Okay, so we're going to go forth today. It's about 9 o'clock. You got 30 minutes to get yourself ready. Do the last thing you want to do with your charts. Get your cup of coffee ready. Get ready to sit and do what you need to do. Look at what you need to see. But remember, first of all, you want to stay green. Second thing, we want to get this money. Third thing, you want to trade what you see, not what you hoping for. Trade what you're looking at. What you looking for? We got what you looking for. You trade what you're looking for, okay? Look, trade what you see. And then you go have a great green day, all right? I will see all of you in the market. If you're in my community, I'll see you in the chat. Bye, everyone.